Hey guys, thanks for joining us. We are live just talking about the lineup of the 2019 Red Bull X-Alps. All afternoon we've been revealing the names of the 32 athletes who will be at the start line next year. But if you've been looking really closely, you'll see that there are still 2 athletes yet to be announced. One of whom, excited to say, is with us now. There he is over there. He'll be joining us in a second, so stay tuned for that little announcement. Maybe you've already worked out who we haven't mentioned. Maybe you can send in a comment, have a guess. Is there anyone we haven't mentioned? I'm trying to think if there's someone important. Maybe with Christoh.
Maybe there's somebody missing. Yeah, quite well-known one.
Maybe. It'll come to us later. So stay tuned for that. Maybe first we can have a quick look at the lineup, some of the 30 athletes that we've published already. What a stellar cast of adventurers, pilots, and really incredible individuals out there. You'll see, first of all, that we've got 14 rookies in the lineup. Some very interesting characters among them. You'll also see that for the first time since 2015, we have 2 girls taking part. That also adds an interesting new dynamic to the race, both of whom are very strong athletes. Quite a few veterans have come back for more. For example, from Japan, we have Karu Ogisawa. He's actually the oldest competitor at 59, and he's taken part, I think, in 3 X-Alps from 2007. No, 4 X-Alps, 2007, 9, 11, and 13. And first time back in 5 years. Of course, we've got Toma Coconer, the legendary Romanian running man. He is back for his 9th edition. But there are many athletes now who are on their 3rd or 4th edition. Tom de Dorlado, this is his 7th time. Paul Guschelbauer, this is his 5th time taking part. So many athletes have got a lot of experience out there. Among the rookies as well, there's a lot of hot talent out there. Particularly among the French group, there's Maxime Pinault, also a Swiss guy, there's Patrick von Kernel, lots and lots of exciting names. But maybe better actually now to talk to Christoh, because you know far more than I do about any of these guys. You went through everyone's application process. Yeah. Today you must be very excited to reveal the names, but also there must be a part of you that's also sad because there are many people who didn't make the selection. Is it a very tough decision for you?
Yeah, for us, for the race committee, it's the toughest decision always made in front of the race, because we have so many good people applying for it, so many good teams, and it's really hard to say to somebody, no, we don't have any more place for you, we are full. And I'm so thankful that we have so strong people applying for it, and I know that there is a lot of commitment also for them into the race, and it's really sad to say no to these guys. And yeah, at this moment I really want to thank them very much that they were applying for it, and I hope they will do it again, and I hope that they will be in the race next time.
But so for next year, it promises to be quite a fast race, do you think? A lot of very interesting pilots out there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we tried to get the strongest pilots from all over the world into the race, so it must be a fast race. I mean, how fast it will be, it's always a question of the weather also, but I'm sure everybody selected into this race will be a very good competitor, and there are really, really strong characters in there.
So, you're looking at the lineup there, all the athletes. Are there any names that really stand up for you, particularly among the rookies? Who haven't we heard of until now?
Yeah, you already mentioned Maxime Pinault, a French guy who's really super strong. Then also from Germany we have a new face in the race, Markus Anders, who is also a really strong guy. And then from Switzerland we have Patrick von Kähnel, who should be also really, really strong. And then we have from USA 2 new faces where I'm really hoping a lot that they will show up with a lot of power, which is Willi Kanel and Cody Mitrank.
I mean, Patrick von Kähnel from Switzerland, he's one of only a handful of guys to have flown over 500 kilometers. How impressive is that?
Yeah, that's quite impressive. But that's another kind of flying. I think for the X-Alps kind of flying, it's not so important how far your farthest flight was, because this is different style of flying where this big distances are flown.
Yeah, you're not going to be flying 500 kilometers across the Alps. No, that would be over in 2 days. And it's interesting when you look at these guys as well, how you see a lot of them are great pilots, but it's not just being the pilot, it's having the fitness and having the strength and the adventure experience, and the ability to react to the weather. I mean, we say it every year, it's not just flying ability, although that is important. You've got to be able to hike up these mountains and along the flat day after day, haven't you?
Yeah, and the most important thing, I think, beside all the skills you must have, is to know very good your body and to know how much throttle you can give on it, and not to go full throttle from the beginning on, because you won't last until the end then. It's very much about taking care of your body and taking care of all the power you have. So good tactics.
There's a guy who knows all about that, actually. We mentioned earlier we're going to announce a couple of athletes. So without further ado, the question is, will 2019 have a new champion? And that, of course, begs the question. It depends if a certain Kriegel Maurer will take part this year. And, of course, yes, Kriegel Maurer will be on the start line of the 2019 Red Bull X-Alps. He's won the race 5 times now in a row. An extraordinary achievement. Can he do it again? Is there anyone who can beat him? Perhaps the other athlete we're going to announce just now will be able to tell us. He is Simon Oberrauner from Austria. Come on over, Simon. Nice to see you. Yeah, come and take a... So, how excited are you to be taking part, to be selected again?
I'm pretty excited, yeah. I'm really looking forward, because 2017 I had an awesome race. I had so many good experience, also some bad ones, but all over it was fantastic race for me.
Yeah, you finished up in what, 5th place, was it?
Yeah, 5th place, yeah, and with a strong battle against Ferdi van Scherven. Yeah.
I think that finished him off, actually. He didn't apply this year. He, that finished his. You killed him. After that, he's no more.
I didn't want to do that because it was really fun to race with him.
Also, a lot of fans remember you from the race. In one of the films, you're taking off on the flanks of the Matterhorn, and it looks like you're doing just the most crazy takeoff. It just looks so mad. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, in my training, I always try to find good takeoffs and like the best ones, the highest ones, and there it looked perfect for me. In the training I had very often takeoffs like this, and yeah, I was lucky. Everybody was filming it, and so it went perfect. Yeah.
Well, was it as dramatic for you as it looked to us?
Yeah, for sure. You don't see on the picture. My girlfriend was holding the wing, yeah, and it was really narrow space, so everything had to be perfect, and everything was perfect, and yeah, was a good experience.
Great. So you've seen the lineup of athletes. What's your take? Are there any names there for you that really kind of stand out? Who gives you the fear?
Yeah, there are a lot of people who are really strong, and yeah, it would be.
Maybe start off. What about the Austrian and German guys? Maybe these two.
For sure. And Paul. Yeah, I've learned a lot from Paul, and he's I think also one of the favorites, because how to fly adventure style, and that's maybe the most important thing.
Gushal power.
Gush power, of course.
What about
And Helmut Schrempf, I don't know him in person, but I've seen some very interesting flights from him, and I know he's a real talent in challenging conditions, so he will be also on the top.
Marcus Anders, tell us a little bit about him.
We raced together in the Ironfly, and there he did a really good job. He also knows how to fly adventure. He got a good talent for flying, so he can fly in really challenging conditions and knows where to take the route. And of course he's a really tough guy. He can run with a swollen ankle even 50 kilometers, and he's a strong guy.
It's a pretty important skill to have, isn't it, to be able to sort of run through the pain barrier? You sometimes you have to watch yourself. Don't go over the pain barrier, because if you go over it, then you maybe destroy your body, and then you finish the race. So you always have to be balanced about that. But maybe that's interesting to mention that a lot of athletes as well are coming back from injury. Amongst the French team, it's great to see that the Gaspard Petiot is back. He was actually so exciting. He was in the lead at one point before he had an accident. Antoine Girard also. He's been doing some amazing flights. I don't know if you've been following him. He's been in the Himalaya. Is it the Karakoram? I think it was.
Yeah, it's part of the Himalaya in the Karakoram, where he was flying over Broad Peak, one of the 8,000 meter high mountains, and something never done until now. And if you have the chance to watch the video he made about this trip, go for it. It's really super amazing, and it's perfect.
But I think even more recently he was doing some flights up to sort of 7,000 meters, landing at 6,000 meters on these glacier cols. So he's a really strong adventure. I tell you, someone else who's a big adventurer is this new American athlete, isn't it? It's Willie Connell. He's a real backcountry guy. He's a wilderness guide. I think he said on his form that he spends a quarter of the year sleeping outside. Yeah. What was it about his application that impressed you, Christoph?
All these outdoor skills, of course, and also the strength of his body showing by these trips he makes, and also his flying skills. So he knows a lot about adventure flying style.
And what about these two girls that we've got? There's Kinga Matsterlitz from New Zealand. She's a very interesting athlete, isn't she? She's flown. She did a solo vol biv across the Southern Alps, and then Dominika from Poland.
I just met her.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, at the top of Marmelada. She can fly.
You were landing there.
Yeah. Well, you tell us about her then. You probably know far more.
I think she also participated in the Ironfly. She also did a great job there, because we didn't have the best flying weather there. So, I'm curious about them. Yeah.
I mean, she took part last year. I think she was a supporter to Michał Gielek, the Polish guy. And this is also, we're now going to take the opportunity to give a shout out to everyone watching. If you've got any questions, send them over, direct them to either to Christoph or to Simon, whether it's about the selection or who you want to win the next year's X-Alps. Shoot over any questions right now, and I'll try and keep an eye out for that. How's the training going?
Pretty good, yeah. We just spent 1 week with the caravan through the Alps and made some high peaks in alpine style and flew from them. So it's working good.
And then someone told me you also recently hiked up Mont Blanc. You take your brother with you, is that right?
Yeah. It was a crazy decision, but we said Mont Blanc, the weather looks good, and just go there. And we hiked up, and perfect weather. Yeah, we could just balance the wing over us, and nobody else was on the top. So I think that's very rare.
Yeah, I think that is very rare. I think I think all summer there've been stories about, hundreds of people on the summit. So, and tell us a little bit now about your strategy now. What do you have some markers going forward that you need to reach?
Yeah, a strategy for training for the X-Alps is like you need to do the things you like to do. So adventure flying is maybe my biggest passion. And then you have to really work on your mental strength to be able to take the decision you think is the best and not let other people take decisions, and really try to trust your instincts. And that's maybe what I did wrong a little bit in 2017, and I'm working on that. So that's a big part of the training also.
One question that just came up was no Stefan Gruber. Do we know why he's not taking part next year?
Yeah, I mean, he was suffering some injury from walking or running last time, and he still is not really cured from this. And yeah, it's quite intelligent then to say no, I don't make it for the moment again.
Some other interesting athletes we've got. There's a guy from Lebanon, Rodolphe Akel. I hope I pronounced that right. He's quite an interesting character. He's actually special forces. He's a mountain warfare leader. Maybe that will be a useful skill to have when battle commences next year. But he's also spent a lot of time in the French Alps because he trained with the French military. So we might expect to see him hanging out with the French team. And also we've got, who else have we got there that's, pass me that, we've got a Turkish guy, Barış Çelik. Tell me a little bit about him.
Barış, he's having the typical career of a Turkish pilot, working as a tandem paragliding pilot in early Deniz, but also building up a lot of skills in cross-country flying, spending a lot of time also in Nepal, also work-wise as tandem pilot, but also for trekking and flying around there. And yeah, he made some amazing cross-country flights in Turkey and in the rest of the world. And yeah, that's. I hope he is a good.
Yeah, I think I saw he'd done lots of ultra marathons. I mean, everyone here. I mean, this list, and it is now all being published online. So check out the social channels and also the .com. The full biogs will be going online very shortly if they're not already. So if I haven't mentioned anyone, or if we haven't mentioned anyone just now, don't worry, go online and learn more about all the athletes. And in the coming weeks as well, we'll be talking more about the athletes and doing different interviews. I think we're going to wrap up fairly shortly. So last chance to ask any questions. Oh, we've got one here. One dear to my heart. Were there any British applicants?
Yeah, there was some, but it was not the strengths we need for this race.
Yeah, I think maybe the hills in Britain just aren't quite big enough. But maybe that's we'll throw the gauntlet down to my fellow countrymen to start training in time for the 2021 Red Bull X-Alps. That will be the next one. So I think we're going to wrap up. Really just thank you everyone for watching this afternoon, and a big thank you really again to reiterate what Christoh said at the start, to thank everyone who applied for the Red Bull X-Alps. It's a very special race, and it's very difficult to make that selection. It's a tough decision. So thank you everyone. The next big announcement will, of course, be the route. That will be unveiled in March next year. So stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, follow us online. The newsletter will be publishing all the latest news. Thanks again to our guests, Simon and Christoh. And we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Bye.